but challenge your beliefs about what's happening around you. Challenge your team's beliefs about what is upsetting them. Set an intention. Think about, okay, there are some things I can't control, and that's okay. What I'm going to believe about them is in my control, and that's a system. Welcome to another episode of the Physician Growth Accelerator, a show where we break down your private medical practice vitals into systems, give you the tools to identify root cause of what may be restricting your growth, and, most importantly, prescribe what to do about it. I'm your host, Zed Williamson, and I believe that every system is perfectly designed to get the result it gets. And today we're going to talk about a system that everybody has, and that's the brain, your mind. It's a system. Takes inputs, there's constraint, outputs. But why do we want to think about our mind or the brain as a system? Well, because every system is perfectly designed to get the result it gets. So if you're not happy with the result, just understand that you can tweak the system. And if we think about our brain, imagine it is designed to survive in a world that simply does not exist anymore. And our behavior can be driven by bias and heuristics. It can be driven by how much mental energy we have, how much we allow the world to either take us down or our beliefs about the things that are around us are happening to us. And that influences everything, life at home, life in the office, an understanding of what employees are going through. So what I wanted to talk about today, I actually wanted to read something to you. It's a short quote. And it's a guy who was born about 2,000 years ago. His name is Epictetus, and he studied stoic philosophy. And what he's known for is this general idea of we should take everything calmly. I'm really simplifying it. Because the things that are out of our control, we really shouldn't be very passionate about it. And so this quote, I really enjoy this quote. So he says, "The chief task in life is simply this, to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself to the choices that are my own." So if we think about that, 2,000 years ago, life was probably pretty rough. And what he's saying is the more I internalize things that are out of my control and have opinions about them and have them affect my emotions or my beliefs, what I'm doing is I'm giving up this freedom. And that's the reason why I like that so much, is because that's the idea of every system being perfectly designed to get the result it gets. Whether it's in personal life, in business, in our daily treatment of patients, whatever it is, if we understand that everything is a perfect outcome, we just need to tweak the system. It gives us so much power, so much freedom. And that mindset, it's funny because it probably makes sense. I'm guessing that no one listening right now hears that quote and goes, "No, that's horrible. I should overreact to everything that's out of my control." But the funny thing is if we witness a lot of behavior, that's probably what we would see, where we have beliefs about things. And because we don't challenge those beliefs, it impacts us and drives our behavior. And we allow ourselves to be driven by these biases and these heuristics. And we can be years down the road and never even realize how much we were just on cruise control. And along the way, maybe we complained. When in reality, there should be happiness within the pursuit, right? It's not a destination. And, you might hear someone, sometimes these words are used pretty easily, where it's like, "Oh my gosh, I had the worst day ever." And this is really tied to what Epictetus was talking about. And what was fascinating, I'm going to read you one more thing, is I think it was about 7 years ago, a 17-year-old girl named Cheney Gorkin wrote a poem, and it was called "Worst Day Ever." I'm going to read it to you. "Today was the absolute worst day ever. And don't try to convince me that there's something good in every day. Because when you take a closer look, this world is a pretty evil place. Even if some goodness does shine through once in a while, satisfaction and happiness don't last. And it's not true that it's all in the mind and heart, because true happiness can be attained only if one's surroundings are good. It's not true that good exists. I'm sure you can agree that the reality creates my attitude. It's all beyond my control, and you'll never in a million years hear me say that today was a very good day. Now, the power in this poem, and a brilliant 17-year-old girl who wrote this, is now listen to it as I read it backwards, exact same words. Today was a very good day, and you'll never in a million years hear me say that it's all beyond my control. My attitude creates the reality. I'm sure you can agree that it's not true that good exists only if one's surroundings are good. True happiness can be attained because it's all in the mind and heart. And it's not true that satisfaction and happiness don't last. Some goodness does shine through every once in a while, even if this world is a pretty evil place. Because when you take a closer look, there's something good in every day. And don't try to convince me that today was the absolute worst day ever. 17 years old, wrote that poem. And I just think it connects so well with what Epictetus said almost 2,000 years. Well, he didn't say it almost 2,000 years. He was born 2,000, so my math is a little bit off. But you get the idea. Our freedom exists in that gap between stimulus and response. And when we give that away to the things that are happening around us, and we let it drive our beliefs and our emotions, and we think, gosh, this is such a horrible day, we are adding to that belief. We are literally just giving it away. When you can take a step back, and we all have bad days, but challenge your beliefs about what's happening around you. Challenge your team's beliefs about what is upsetting them. Set an intention. Think about, okay, there are some things I can't control, and that's okay. What I'm going to believe about them is in my control, and that's a system. And remember, every system is perfectly designed to get the result it gets. If you ever want to check the vitals of your medical practice, go to physiciangrowthaccelerator.com and click on My Vitals. With that, thanks, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.